I haven't talked to Terry Jones literally in years, but always look forward to seeing him at Daytona. I welcome him in now. Terry Jones, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good, bud. How you doing?
Man, it's been a lot of miles since you and I sat down. The last
Well,
time was at Daytona on pit road just after you stuck that 30 car in the field and ready to go for another ARCA 200. It's been a little while.
yeah, it is. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Terry, you have, you were always an amazing race car driver. You're out of Windsor, Ontario. And, you know, when I was going down to Daytona at the beginning stages of RTR, it was always so exciting when we'd have somebody from Canada at Daytona going to participate. And Terry, for a long time, you were the only one that was out there and racing competitively, and you did that in ARCA. Do you miss the days of being in that race car? I bet you got a lot of fond memories of being in it.
Yeah, I could write a book. That's for sure. It was yeah, it was great. It was hard. It's very humbling because, it's a tight field and it's hard to make that show. And when you make the show, it's a good feeling. But, I mean, I ran a truck race there too, a couple truck races, I think. And then, so it was very hard, but it's very rewarding too. So.
Yeah. Well, from a historical perspective, you got lots to be able to look back on. That 30 car was always a fast car. I shouldn't say always. At the beginning, you had to learn your way like everybody else, but you did grow into being one of those guys that was one of the guys to beat.
Yeah, well, the first couple of years I went there, I mean, we thought we knew what we were doing, but it was a long ride home when you didn't make the show. So it's it like I said, it's very humbling because when you make the show, it's gratifying, but when you don't make the show, it's a long ride home.
Oh, it would be a long, long ride home.
Yeah.
Terry, you're still in this sport more so today than ever before. You're not behind the wheel anymore. But I can't think of a guy that has really done what you have done. You and Mark Rette teamed up and created Rette Jones Racing. You guys are pretty well into everything, be it ARCA. You've got like 3 of those cars. Let's start with that. Heading into Daytona now, will you have 3 cars in the ARCA 200, or is that the plan? I know you tested 3.
Well, yeah, we do have that option. I think we're going to just focus on the 2 cars right now. The Cole Butcher just tested with us to run for Thorsport in his truck, so you have to go through the whole ARCA program to do that, to get his accreditation. So he did a good job there. But I think we're just going to end up with Cole Raz and Cletus Garrett Mitchell. So yeah, we're going to run those 2. And Cletus ran last year with Kyle Steckley last year. So unfortunate Daytona stuff, but that's racing.
Yeah, it is. You know what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and
Yeah.
and a lot. What Daytona is infamous for dreams and nightmares. They have
Yeah,
both.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
tough deal. You got Cletus back in the car. He's got to be a handful. Just having him there. What a colorful guy.
Yeah, he's great for the sport. He's he's a YouTube sensation. He has more followers than even the Cup guys, the famous Cup guys. So NASCAR is really trying to tag on to him to expand their footprint in the sport, and using his followers. And I think there's some synergy there for that. So I think it's going to work well. It's just it's a process. He has to go through the channels, and he's got to follow the rules that they have in place. And as long as everybody works within that box, it's going to work out well.
Yeah, and it will too. You got to know that Cletus is going to be racing this year with a heavy heart. He'll be missing his buddy Greg Biffle. Those two
Yes.
guys had a lot of fun together. Sometimes this world is very, very cruel, and things don't last as long as we want them to. But you know, Cletus is the kind of guy that he'll be talking to Greg as he's flying around Daytona in that car, and Greg will be in that car with him. You can almost guarantee it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Go.
was. You can't say enough about Greg Biffle. He was just an amazing guy. You'd never know that he was a famous guy. He was amazing. Yeah. So it
Yeah,
was.
just one of
It's hard.
those.
It's hard to find words like, but he just a true gentleman.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. Well, I remember I was at Cayuga one day and thought, man, those don't sound like super late models. What the hell's on the track? And sure enough, it was Greg Biffle, and I want to say it was Kurt. I think it was Kurt out there when they were both
Yeah.
running for Roush, testing their trucks at Cayuga.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
pulling some
crazy.
test time. Yeah, yeah. Did
Yeah.
you do that much with your ARCA car? Did you slide across and jump onto Cayuga?
We ran one race there. Yep. That was back. Oh, '06 maybe. Maybe it was that far back.
Yeah,
'06 or '07, I think.
yeah. Could have been.
Yeah, it was a ways back. I don't really remember exactly, but I know we ran one race there. So
Yeah. Well, at least you got one in there. Hopefully, one day that track can pop back into our world. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
yeah, what an amazing facility they built there. So I mean, we need something for sure.
Well, look, not to say that you've got spare time, because you don't, but I don't know, Rhett Jones Racing, Port City, and Cayuga. That'd sound good.
Yeah, I don't need another job, Joe.
Okay, okay, well, we won't push on that. Let's talk about Rhett Jones. How did you and Mark Rette hook up? Was he part of the 30 team back when you were running ARCA?
No, he was the wild 2000s, running all over the country, racing late models to ARCA cars. I was racing some trucks, and Mark was running with Eddie Sharp, with Justin Lofton, and I would watch how good Justin Lofton was running, and how well that program was, and I think Mark, I'm sure we were probably in a bar somewhere, and I just walked up and said, hey, we're going to start a race team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he's like, kind of looks at me with the goofy look, and then we started. That's literally how it started. So we bought a building down there. Was very fortunate to buy a good shop down there, and started, and Mark's he's very, very good at race cars and setups, and he's got a massive footprint with Cup guys and Xfinity truck guys, ARCA guys, like in everything, because he's very well respected by everybody, because he works well with people. But I will say, crew chiefs, they don't like other crew chiefs for some reason, because they don't want to get shown up. So
That's what happens. That's what happens. That's
yeah,
cool. I would expect nothing different out of you, Terry Jones, than the way that would come together. That it really has been you, as far as I've known you. You've been a man of a handshake. You've been a man of let's do this, and you're not kidding when you say let's go after something. You do it.
yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, just I don't believe in paperwork. Let's just do it.
Just get her done. That's the way it's
Yeah.
happening. With Rhett Jones Racing now, you've got the ARCA program. Are you into trucks? Are you going to have a truck team or a couple truck teams? O'Reilly Series? And can you ever see the day where it's Rhett Jones Racing in the Cup Series?
Yeah, we will. Yep, we will. We will definitely be there. We so we are going to. We have Greg Zipadelli working for us. So another guy with a massive Rolodex of he can reach out to people that that we can't reach out to because his credibility, right? And he's a very unique person and very well respected everywhere. So if I ask him things, he can reach out and he'll get answers where if Terry Jones tries to call, it would be like, is this the demo Terry Jones, the demo guy, or the race car guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's he want? So
Yeah.
no, we are looking at some Xfinity O'Reilly stuff, and yeah, I mean, we definitely are going to take those steps. We already did some with Noah the year before, and that went well. And that's how I met Greg, is when he was at Stewart Haas. So we became good buddies from that, and it was literally a handshake. Yep, we're doing it. Done. Wire the money. Done. So
finished. Yeah.
And you know what? And so we are going to do that. And we have to have the right horse, and once that comes, we will chase it. So
sure. It all takes time. It all costs money, and it all has to fit. If you're just tuned into Racetime Radio, we are with Terry Jones, the Jones part of the Rette Jones Racing. These guys, I'll tell you, when it comes time for ARCA, they're just about untouchable. And then onward and upward. Terry, can you see any truck races that you guys will be doing this year, or is that sitting sort of where it is right now and you're going to concentrate on ARCA for 2026?
So there's a lot of moving parts in the truck series, and with Colleague taking on the 5 Dodge trucks, he's got to fill those seats. And for us we have to pick a manufacturer. So for us to stick with Ford and to try and compete against ThorSport, it doesn't make sense because they already have all the stuff there. They already have all the engineering. The trucks. We did look at a couple teams that were closing down, and the equipment was decent. But if we're going to do it, we want to do it right, and we want to be we want to have the latest and greatest, and we're going to. So through the Port City platform now, we are actually coming up with designs to be approved by NASCAR to start building our own chassis for truck and Xfinity / O'Reilly series now. So, we're gonna be able to build our own stuff and then try and engineer it from there. So,
man, those are huge steps, and that's what it takes, right? You got to be different if you're gonna get in. You got to be able to get in, and you got to be different because everybody else has been doing this. And to try and jump in when everybody else has got everything they need sort of leaves you on the outside, and you're running somewhere, 10th to 20th. And that's not Terry Jones or Mark Rette. You guys want to go out and compete for the win. And, to see the steps. Terry, you've always been a short track guy. You have got short track running through your veins. And when I heard about Port City Racecars going to be owned now by Mark Rette and Terry Jones, add in Gary, and I go, oh my God, what a fit that is. And Port City Racecars, another hot commodity, and you guys are moving the ball down the field that way. That's got to be exciting times as well.
Yeah, it's going very well. I didn't realize how big of a footprint Port City has. All across Maine, East Coast, down south. California. Cole Raz just ran Tucson, I think, last weekend, and
yes, he did.
He won there, and then I think third place was another Port City. So the cars are doing very well. We're very lucky we have. So it's Gary Crooks is phenomenal at what he does there. He just needed that little push, behind him to kind of move the ball right. So. Sure. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get involved. And we were running all Port City stuff, and and they brought in some an engineer and stuff, so it's going very well, and it's actually we're having a hard time keeping up with how many cars are getting ordered now, because the cars are winning everywhere. We're struggling a little bit with the ASA stuff. It is getting better. We're right there. It's just it's having the right horse again. So
Sure.
but Greg Zipadelli's involved with us in that. Noah Gregson, Mark Rette, Gary Crooks, and myself. So I came up with a team, because I'm not going to tell them what to do on a car, because I'm not going to stick my nose in there, because I have other things to take care of.
Right.
And so between those four guys, I hand the ball to them, and here you go. So,
Kind of like life, isn't it, Terry? It's all
yes,
about
it is.
the
Yeah.
people, right? It's all about the people you surround yourself with, that you're involved with. You get the right people, then you get the right chemistry.
Yeah.
And you know what? Something that looked like it was going to be really hard turns into something that's a passion more than it is a job, because you get the right people in the right places. And that's cool when that can happen.
Everything is about people. You can't. It doesn't matter if you run a grass cutting company or a race team.
Yeah.
You have to have people.
Yep, you got to have the right people in the right
Yeah.
spot. You know, I interview guys right across this country and down into the U.S., and I always tend to ask them, what do you got underneath you? Like we had Todd DeLisle on here at the beginning of the show. Well, he's got himself a Fury car. And I always try and ask the guys, I was amazed how many guys would say, well, I got a Port City, and they're out in BC. And how did you get a Port City car? You're all the way out in BC. And more often than not, you hear the name Port City, Fury, and Hamke. Those are the big names in this sport. And it's about to get even bigger. What's it like? I know at the holiday time, it was looking like we were going to have a Port City, Canada, and be set up on this side of the border. Have you got that now? Have we got a Port City, Canada?
Yep.
We get,
So we have, unfortunately, the deal with Dave White
Yeah.
didn't work out.
Yep.
Super nice guy, very intelligent, great, builds great stuff. Works hard. I think he does a great job of what he does.
Port City's a little bit better, though.
Yeah, I mean yeah. Well, I don't build any of them, so I mean, hey, I think they all look great.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out, and so we've already broke ground on a building, and we have a new building going up right now, and by spring the building will be up and done, and everything's still going to get built at the mothership down in North Carolina,
Right.
and then we will as we sell cars, they'll get brought here, and then we'll have guys that fly in and handle tech support at the track, and we have a lot of guys that involved that they can get all their information from. So
Well, and it takes time,
it's all
right?
moving ahead.
It takes time, and back to
Yes.
that same thing. It's about the people. So it takes time to get the people, to put them together. A building, like you say. Whereabouts is it located? Is it down in Windsor? Or are you moving it somewhere more central, or staying south?
It's actually in Essex, which is just outside of Windsor. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. And
Yeah.
over time, that will be built up. Where parts and pieces, it'll be a full shop where you can order a car turnkey, or parts and pieces too, right? Because there's a lot of cars out there that have maybe got a Port City front end, or they've got, a part of this and part of that, and they're putting them together. It'll be an all-round shop then, Terry, that guys
Yes.
can order everything.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of doubt behind it being in Essex, but when you sit back and look, I've been racing since the early 2000s. I've been driving down North Carolina to pick up cars, pick up parts, pick up motors, pick up spindles, pick up rear ends, transmissions, whatever you need. So if it's an hour and a half outside of Delaware, or a couple hours from Flamborough, or the GTA area is 4 hours. It's just a drive.
Yeah.
And we're gonna offer a white glove service and deliver the stuff. So
Yeah.
we're gonna we're gonna do things a little bit different. We're gonna be more hands on and to help the racers, because at the end of the day, if we don't anybody can buy a race car, but if we don't have racers to go to the track and help them, tracks aren't going to survive, and motorsports in Canada is going to decline, and we don't want that.
No, we don't. And that's the thing too, right? And it's going to take time to build it up, but to have the actual support. And I know Gary Crooks was always big on the customer support. I ran into Gary lots at the IWK 250. It'd be the only place that I would run into him. But, when things were starting to fly with Cayuga Speedway, and, Ken had the Nationals, he and Alex Nagy, they had a real good thing going there, and then Ken ends up passing away on us, and then the whole game changes. But what I'm getting at is those events we're building. Talk to Trevor Siebert at Penticton Speedway out in BC. He's got the Western Rattler 300. It's coming along. You talk to Saratoga Speedway out on Victoria Island. They've got the Canadian 200. There's big events, the Bridge City 200 out of Saskatoon. So the events are getting bigger. They're paying more money. And as soon as we get that, there's more emphasis. And, of course, the competition level keeps going up. Port City is going to fill that right in there. And you got to love it. I know from my eyes, and from a guy like Wayne Bratton that watches this show all the time, he's a huge race fan. It's next level stuff when guys like Wayne and I stand back and look and say, hey, not only do we got the best racers competing, but now we've got the manufacturers competing, and that's another level thing, and that's cool to see.
Yeah, it is great. There's lots of room for all of us, and it's all about, again, like we said, have these great events, get lots of people that want to race in them, and make it so that it's attainable and they can race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just tremendous. So Daytona is coming. I know we always get goosebumps when Daytona comes up. Are you ready for it, first of all, and what's the plan? Are you going to get to Daytona and hang out? I guess you'll be busy at both New Smyrna and at Daytona.
Yeah, we're gonna be busy at both, but I'm gonna. I forget when I'm heading down, but I want to say it's I think the Saturday, which is like the 7th or 8th. Yeah. So I'll just take off, work my way down to. Got to go to the shop first, pick up the motorhome, and then head down. So. It's exciting. It's a great time of year.
The beginning of a brand new season, man. Yeah. It truly is exciting times, and it's got to be twice as exciting hanging out with a guy like you with all you got going on. It's going to be kind of cool. What do you think Cletus is going to do this year? Does he got a win in him?
I think Cletus is going to do well. I mean, he's really caught on to the drafting stuff. So. Believe it or not, he had a cylinder go down last year at Talladega, and he had to learn how to use the draft to advance his positions. And with Greg Biffle there, I mean, he learned a lot. And after the race, Greg himself and me were standing there, and we, Greg said right away, he says, I think that was the best thing that ever happened is you went down a cylinder, because now you're down a little bit of power. You see what you have to do to be able to pick up the draft and maintain the draft, right? So yeah, I think he's going to do well. He's got a great hot rod, new motor, new car. So we unfortunately we lost both cars pretty much last year after the wreck. So, but that's racing. So
yeah, it sure is. Now, will Raj run the whole year? Do you got a car in that's going to run the full season? I don't think Cletus is doing the full year, or is he?
I think he's talking about doing 8 to 10 races, and then we're going to have we have a couple other guys there. Cole Raz is going to run. We're waiting to hear on him what he's going to run. And then we have a couple other guys that want to run as well. So I'm sure we're going to end up running the majority of the season, and we want to do that anyhow because you want the points to be able to get back into Daytona the next year in case it rains, right? That is the key
Yeah.
to, people don't realize that, if you don't have points, you're going to buy points.
Yeah, it's a real kick in the stones when you get
Oh
down
yeah,
there
yeah,
and something
yeah.
happens, you don't qualify well. Just ask Jason White. Happened to him, right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, just amazing. Terry,
Yeah,
this has been great catching up with you. I know I could spend 2 hours just with you,
yeah. There's a
just
lot to
talking
talk
about having.
about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We're having fun. Hey, if there's Canadian race teams out there and they aspire to try an ARCA race, who are the best to contact? Can they reach out to Rette Jones Racing and find out what a program is? And is there a criteria now that you guys would have before you put anybody in that car?
Well, yeah, no, Mark can handle all that. Like he gets, believe it or not, he gets a lot of calls, and we do screen a lot of people because NASCAR, we have to screen them for NASCAR because you have to be pre-approved, and we had to turn a couple people away this year just because they didn't have the credentials to run it or experience, because NASCAR is actually tightening up the strings on that because of all the wrecks that were happening last year. So it's a good thing, but it's hard to get to get experience if you can't get on a big track, right? So it's like a double-edged sword. You have to you have to be able to do it to or go to the test to get the experience, and then vice versa. So
Yeah, well, I guess a good advice would be if you're aspiring to do that, maybe don't pick Daytona or Talladega. Pick a shorter track that you have, maybe some more relevant experience. Go with a half mile or a mile track. I know a big difference between half mile and a mile, but in the same respect, maybe the restraints aren't quite as tight because, like you say, at Daytona and Talladega, it happens. It's big. When it happens, you definitely don't want to be part of that.
yeah, well, so I mean, the short tracks are when you start racing in the U.S. on short tracks, they're very fast short tracks. Bristol, Winchester, Salem, Toledo, very fast tracks. But they don't get you in the high mile club. So
Right.
you need to run, the Charlottes, Kansas,
Vegas,
Dover.
yeah.
You need to run those tracks to get you started in the high mile club. Then you work your way up to 2 mile, 2 mile, mile and a half tracks, 2 mile tracks, and then you get up to the 2.5 mile tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a step to get into it, but there is a process. There's always a way to do it. It's just, we want to help anybody that wants to get into that because that's how I did it. So
Yeah. Well, School of Hard Knocks. You rode those miles.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if I could do it, pretty much anybody can do it. So
Well, I doubt that. Terry, you were very good at it. You became very good at it through your career.
Yeah.
You were one to watch. Without pushing the cart too far down the road, this may be a goofy question, but I got to ask it. With Port City Racecars, can you see one day that maybe Port City gets into dirt cars?
we have lots of talks about that stuff. There are some great chassis builders that build dirt now, and would blow your mind how big they are. Like as opposed to Port City, like they're massive and do a lot of business and do great business and build beautiful chassis and cars. So I don't think that that's something in the near future. I think that if we were going to do that, we would look at purchasing somebody already in that and then amalgamate the two together, because asphalt is one mindset.
Yep.
And dirt is another mindset. And once you try and commingle those two, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think it would gel very well. So.
Things don't work out. But in the same respect, if you had a company like Port City that is asphalt, if they stepped into that dirt world with the right people and the right idea that is totally different than the other guys and went out and had success, oh my God. Can you imagine how big the bang would be for that?
Yeah, that's all through, thankfully we have engineers that can do that stuff and take care of it. And who I don't foresee anything other in the future with that other than amalgamating a dirt chassis builder and an asphalt builder together. I just think there's a lot of moving parts behind what we have right now, and it's running very well, but it's always moving. There's always something. You're always chasing.
Yeah.
Always chasing.
Rette Jones Rocket. Oh, it sort of fits together.
Yeah.
Rette Jones Rocket. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. Terry, this has been great catching up with you. You look fantastic. You sound great. And tell you what, it isn't going to be 25 years between our next conversation. Sound good to you?
Absolutely, yeah.
You bet. Terry, thanks for the time. And make sure you keep Mark and the rest of the guys out of trouble, will you?
I'll try, but you know what that's like. It's tough.
Yeah, it's like herding cats.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Joe. Take care. All the best to you.
You want to believe it. Safe travels. Isn't that cool? Catching up with Terry Jones. What an incredible individual that guy is. And like we were saying, it's all about the people. Look at the team that they're putting together, not only for Rette Jones Racing, but for Port City. Got a new building coming up. You're going to see Port City, Canada. Add that to the mix of what we got going on. Short track racing going to get even better up here, Canadians. And we got a lot to be proud of.